Good evening, everyone. And right off the top of our election special, First Coast News is calling the race for Jacksonville Mayor. Donna Deegan right now in the lead with 53% of the vote. And our analysts saying that is enough to win this race.
That's right. There's still some precincts that have not been counted just yet, but it appears that Deegan will win at this hour. And we want to go now to our team of analysts with Jeannie Blaylock to talk about why they feel Donna Deegan will be the next mayor of Jacksonville.
Literally seconds ago, Andrew's looking at his results and he says, oh my goodness, this is stunning. So tell everybody why you think at this point, for sure, Donna Deegan will be the next mayor of Jacksonville.
Well, at this point, she has 52% of the vote. She's got 109,000 votes for her, and she's won a majority of the votes that were cast in this election. Right now, if Daniel Davis wins all the remaining votes, he still will lose. There were 218,000 ballots cast in this election, and she's already won more than half of that. So even though not all the precincts have been reported, she won by such a strong margin, despite the fact that he outraised her 4-1, despite the fact that he's been campaigning for this office for more than 8 years, since before Lenny Curry even took office. She was able to pull off a stunning upset, becoming only the second Democrat in the last 30 years to win a mayor's election in Jacksonville.
And so, John, you were talking earlier that it would be almost more than a miracle at this point. It sounds like an impossibility that Deegan would lose at this point.
Well, I would agree with Andy. I mean, there are 18 out of 186 precincts that are not included in these numbers. We don't know what precincts those are, but again, it would be a miracle. And I think mathematically, as Andrew pointed out, even mathematically, it's impossible for him to get over 50%.
And just before you started talking, the remaining precincts, almost all of them came in, and they confirmed that, in fact, Donna Deegan has won the mayor's race.
Well, let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned money, and you're talking about Daniel Davis spending $8 million, Donna Deegan $2 million on this campaign. That's a $10 million campaign for mayor. That's the most ever spent on a local race in Duval County. But that didn't matter because he still lost with that huge amount of campaign spending.
Well, I mean, part of that is an effect of the low turnout. I mean, where it was a very low turnout race, and at some point, money stops mattering. I mean, if you've got that few undecided voters coming out, it doesn't matter how much you spend communicating. There's just not that many persuadable voters to come your way. So, in a low turnout race like this, his money advantage probably was less than it would have been in a big race with a much higher turnout. And
you told me a couple of days ago that in your word of political science and political advertising, running a positive campaign can be suicidal to a candidate, that you really have to attack. At least that's the conventional wisdom, but that's not what Donna did. Donna Deegan ran, she said, a positive race versus perhaps a negative race.
That was obviously her strategy. I mean, I can't say that she ran an exclusively positive race. There was some mailers that you would call negative, but her strategy was to contrast herself with the Davis campaign and his folks, who are known for really vicious negative campaigns. She did that strategically to contrast herself against what we expected from his camp, and apparently it looked to be a really good strategy.
I wish you could see Andrew's fingers on his computer. They're flying behind that laptop. What are you seeing now from the turnout?
Well, so I mean, just more results coming in. I think now we can call all of the races. Almost all of the votes have been counted at this point. There's very few, only 4 precincts remaining. In those 4 precincts, it's only their election day votes that are remaining. So it's all but a handful of votes have been counted at this point. And it's truly stunning that in this city, this was able to happen. Someone who is so far outraised. And I think it speaks to also the trust that she had among voters, because she was hammered with pretty relentless negative campaigning. Yet she remained, I think, trusted by voters who've known her on air on this station, who've known her as the leader of the Donna Foundation, helping start the foundation to support breast cancer patients. And I think that went a long way. I think the same is true in the property appraisers race. Joyce Morgan is up in the property appraisers race, and her time at News4Jax as a TV anchor was able to help where she underwent some negative attacks. Even though it's a pretty bureaucratic office, there were a lot of mailers going out saying that she's too liberal for Jacksonville or trying to tie her in with national liberal figures, but she was still able to win in a city that is still fairly Republican.
Well, we'll come back to you. We'll let you go back and start doing all your analysis and toss it back over to Anthony Heather. But a winner, gee, before 7:30, technically here tonight, just less than a half an hour before the polls close, we know who the next mayor of Jacksonville is going to be.
Thank you, Jeannie, and our analysts. And so a very excited night for